This is skate park etiquette. You ready? Okay, when you come to the skate park your very first time, maybe it's your second time, maybe you've been at the skate park 100 times, there is a proper skate park etiquette that you should follow. There are some spoken rules and there's some unspoken rules. So I'm gonna take you through every obstacle in this park, but the first thing that you should know is you have to kind of take a step back and look at where skaters are skating, and you want to try and figure out where the flow lines are of the park. This park is a little bit funny. It doesn't have the best flows. A lot of times a park will be just sort of straight like that, and the flows will be going back and forth only. Generally speaking, I'll have like a quarter pipe on one side, a quarter pipe on the other side, and you're just going in this direction. And you'll see an obstacle and you'll be like, oh, okay, the skating flow is in that direction. So here you can see like there's a bank up here where a lot of people start from, and they roll down that bank and then they go across the park and hit an obstacle. But then some of these other obstacles over here, they're kind of following the flow a little bit, but not completely. Like this one is almost like just, here's this obstacle right in the way. But the first thing you need to know in your first skate park etiquette lesson is that pretty much if there's a piece of metal on that ledge, it's meant to be grinded. And if you're a brand new skater, you might think, oh, well, I'm gonna come to the skate park. Or maybe your mom came to the skate park with you, or your dad, and they were like, oh, I'm gonna sit down. This looks like a nice place to sit down, and you just wanna sit down there. But guess what? This is to grind. All the skaters watching this are like, Aaron, we know, we're not idiots. Now, this one doesn't have metal, but also meant to grind. Grind or slide, right? And you can see because it's all black, it's all like waxed up, right? This is the street ledge spot. Okay, so the main thing, the first thing on the skate park etiquette is the flow lines of the park. So I'm gonna skate around this park and I'm gonna show you what the basic flow lines are. This is like the busiest this park has ever been, which is good, because generally speaking, I come here and nobody's here. Skateboarding is coming back, people, let's go. So the general flows of this park are like from here, generally going up this thing, a little bank, down. You could hit that obstacle if you might. Back to that. So the flow is kind of that around this park. Could make a big circle, right? The basic thing to understand and what you're trying to avoid is you don't want to have all the skaters in the park going this way and then you're going this way, right? If I'm here with my friend and we're like, oh, we're gonna play a game of skate. This is a nice open spot. We're gonna play a game of skate there. But if there's 10 skaters and they keep going like this, the chances of me doing a trick this way and then getting nailed from the back by a skater going that way are high. And on some skate parks, I call it like a crisscross crash course, because it's basically like a bowl and then all of the skaters go in the middle and they're all going in different directions. And then in that center, it just wham, wham, wham. Very dangerous. And if you're out there on your skateboard for your first day and you're like, oh, I just went to the skate park, so much fun, and you're just skating by, and then boom, some person who's been skating for 10 or 15 years takes you out. It's painful. Okay, so you gotta be aware of the obstacles and know what's going on. Another skate park etiquette piece is waxing. The locals, they might come to the spot and they might wax up the rail or wax up the ledge or whatever, especially if somebody's already skating it. So right now, these guys are skating this ledge. If I were to go right now and wax up that ledge, it's a little bit rude and mean, and the skate park etiquette, it's not proper skate park etiquette, because they've been skating it. They know how it slides, they know whether it slides fast or slow, and they're gonna wax that ledge to adjust to the specification of they're like, oh, it's a little bit sticky. And generally speaking, before they wax it at all, they're gonna ask everybody skating it, do you mind if I wax it? Especially if, for example, we're doing like a lip slide or a board slide trick, and I'll show you why. So on a lip slide or board slide, you're gonna like be up here, and you're gonna wax the top right here, right? And on a grind tricks, you're gonna be here. So if you miss your grind trick, even the slightest, and you land up here, your board shoots out, and then you just get bodied. And that will happen because the person's like, oh, I was trying to lip slide, I waxed the top of it. So if somebody's already trying to do a ledge trick, a grind trick, it's very rude to just go ahead and wax the top without asking. If you ask and they understand, that's something else entirely. So basically you want to be in communication with people at the skate park and ask them and make sure it's cool with them. Okay, so this obstacle in terms of skate park etiquette is a little bit weird to judge because it's not only a ledge, but it's also a bank, right? So it's kind of funny because the general flow of it, if you're skating the ledge, is like this. But if you're skating the bank, it's like this, which goes opposite, right? So you gotta be careful on an obstacle like that and just be aware and watch when other people are dropping in or going in. You can watch where they're going. So he's shooting across the park. He's gonna go up the bank. And right at that point in time, I'm not trying to go skate that ledge. That makes sense. Okay, let's go over here to this obstacle. I don't even know what you call this thing. It's like a whale tail? I don't even know what this is. It's sort of like a wall ride situation. So again, the flow of this one is kind of like this, which kind of does go with the flow of this park, which is kind of just basically making a big circle. But you could also skate this side, you could skate the other side. Again, it's kind of the similar thing. Just be aware of your surroundings, be aware of who's there, especially if somebody's trying to get a trick. One of the most frustrating things for like a long time skateboarder is you're at a skate park, you're trying to get a trick, it's already really, really stressful and you're struggling, right? Let's say I'm trying to learn a new trick on this hip and I'm trying to do it, maybe I'm spending an hour on this trick. And then some kid comes up who's just totally unaware, he's not paying attention, and he just sits down on the bank. Or just starts skating it or playing a game of skate right in front of it or something that's gonna completely stop me from trying to progress and learn that trick, right? And we're like the worst skate park etiquette people ever because we just start filming right in the middle of the park. Okay, the next obstacle, let's go to this thing. So this one, honestly, it's another one that's like a little bit hard to judge. But generally speaking, skating it like a quarter pipe around the side, just like that. Again, just be aware of your surroundings. Watch people as they skate and as they go up and down it. And just try to not get in the way. I think the key to all skate park etiquette is like, don't get in the way, which can be hard. Or sometimes you might go to the skate park and you might be a brand new skater and you go and you do get in the way and some experienced skater yells at you or is like, get out of here. And then you're like, oh, I never want to do this again, which we want to avoid. We don't want you to have that feeling like skateboarding is so hard or it sucks or whatever. We just want you to keep skateboarding because it is fun. It is a lifelong pursuit, that it is healthy activity and it'll take you far in life if you just stick with it. So we want to avoid all the things that are going to make you quit. Again, this obstacle is weird because you can basically hit it from all 4 different angles. You can go up this side, you can go on both quarter pipes, you can come up the front. So yeah, this obstacle, you're just gonna be aware. But this obstacle, bank, this is my favorite obstacle in the whole park. The bank, and then this, from the bank on one side to the other bank, we call it a hip. So I'm gonna do some tricks on that and I'll just show you guys how we do the skate park etiquette. So right now I'm gonna go up and down just this side and then I'll go over the hip. But the whole time I'm skating it, I'm going to be aware of everyone else in the park, where they're at and where they're going. Okay, so normally I would have rode up that bank, but not right now because he's going over the hip. Okay, so now I'm gonna go to the bank. Coast is clear, kickflip, and then roll back. So in order for me to even do that trick, I had to be aware of all the other skaters in the park. Otherwise, I was gonna run right into them, crisscross crash, and boom. Okay, so now he's gonna go. You got it. You also wanna encourage people, you know what I'm saying? Okay, we're going back up the bank. We're gonna do a nollie 180. Okay, so that's the bank. Now from here, I think I'm gonna do a trick or two on the hip and show you this is probably the most dangerous piece. The most likely place for you to like get in the way of other skaters. So I'm gonna be aware of what's going on, aware of the surroundings, and push up to that hip, on the hip. I almost died. Okay, so again, same thing. I'm gonna be aware, watch when all the skaters are dropping in, watch the line that they're taking. And generally speaking, people are gonna kind of do a similar line. They're gonna go in a similar place, especially if they're trying to land a trick on an obstacle, which gets very predictable. You can see where they're going. But every now and then, it's just a free-for-all, mix mash. Yeah. Okay, to the hip. Okay, so just basic, generally watching where people are going. And there's a lot of activity here today. Whoops! Yeah. I swear I can backside flip a hip, Derek. I swear. Back in my day, 1984, we backside flipped all the hips. Woo! Too sketchy. We rebate. So we talked a lot about what not to do, where not to sit, don't wax the ledges unless you ask. Now we should talk about a bunch of things that you should do. So when you see another skater trying a trick, he lands his clip, I always call it a clip, I'm so like filmer oriented, but he lands the trick that he's trying to do, go, yeah, it was sick. Support the other skaters. When they're trying to do a trick, if you know the trick, maybe you can help them. Maybe you can give some support. Maybe you can be like, oh, this trick works best with your foot in this direction or blah. But don't like just go up to random skaters and just start giving them advice, because they're gonna find that annoying. If you start like skating with them or talking to them a little bit and you do know how to do the trick, you can also be supportive and give help, offer help, right? So yeah. When a skater's board flies away, it just reminded me of that. Like let's say they're doing a trick here and the board shoots down and the board is going to this ledge. It's proper etiquette to stop the board, because if that board hits that ledge really hard, it can chip. And especially if you're standing right there, or you can grab that board and stop it, you're gonna prevent that skater's board from getting a chip, which is proper etiquette, and you definitely wanna do that. You might have heard this thing, there's like, skaters hate scooters, or skaters hate scooter kids at the skate park. Generally speaking, it's because they snake you. Now, what is a snake? It means you're trying to go forward and do a trick, and then somebody else cuts you off. So let's say I'm skating this here, and I'm just going up and down this, like so. And then right before I go, some scooter kid cuts in and hits that thing. Now I don't know why people say it's always the scooter kids, because some skater kid could do the same thing just as much as a scooter kid. Just so everybody knows, I got nothing against scooters, I got nothing against the scooter kids. But I want you guys to understand the environment, understand your surroundings, so you can best get along with the people at the park, keep your skate park etiquette in, and have fun. So the skate park is a place that is designed for people to come and be able to just enjoy themselves, learn new tricks, get exercise, express themselves on their skateboard, and have fun. And you can add to that fun by telling people, oh, that was sick, you got this trick, being supportive. We're building a positive skateboard community that supports each other, helps them learn new tricks, pushes them. If they're like struggling, you can be like, dude, you got this, you're really close, you can get the trick, and just be supportive. It's really, really important, because you never know, that kid that comes to the skate park, if you're being totally mean to him, or like not helping him or not supporting him, that might be his last day on a skateboard. If you are being supportive and you're like, hey, you got this trick, let me help you land it, he might be the next Tony Hawk, he might be the next Nigel Houston, whoever is your favorite skater, he might be the next one. Some people learn slow. Not everybody just steps onto a skateboard and they're like this incredibly natural, talented person. So help the skateboard community grow in your area. One thing that I'm really pushing for in 2025 is people helping other people learn, growing the community in your own way. It's really about what are you putting into this community to help it grow, to foster the growth. And being positive and supportive to that community and to those skaters goes a very, very long ways. Hope you guys enjoyed this skate park etiquette video. We'll see you at the skate park, and have an absolute blast.